Hello dear friends, my name is Jitender Bafna. I am a senior MuleSoft architect. In this video, we are going to see what is static IP address. So basically how you can assign a static IP address to your MuleSoft application which is deployed to CloudHub. So and also why we need a static IP address, and generally how many static IP address do you get with your CloudHub license. Okay, so we will discuss on all those things. So first let me open a application which I have deployed. So this is my application, and currently when you deploy a application, so generally what happens, it allocates some IP address. When you redeploy a same application, or even you try to restart the same application, in that case the IP address will got changed. Okay, so that is known as a dynamic IP address. So let me show you. This is my application. Let me open a command prompt. Okay, so let me open a command prompt, run as an administrator. If you can ping this particular URL, you will get the IP address of the application. So this is the IP address 35.173, but you are not getting the ping response because when you use the ping, so you have to you can say ping mule worker, then you give app name. Okay, so basically ping mule worker, what is your app name. So now you are getting the reply, and you can see this is the IP address for your application. If you see the logs, when you deploy the application, okay, if you see worker at the top, or you can see the system log, you will see the IP address, somewhere here. So this is my IP address 54.173.93. So this is the IP address allocated to this particular application. So let me restart this application and let's see what happens. Okay, so I am just restarting my application. So this concept is very important and you should understand this concept. So now my application is restarting. In that case, what will happen? Your IP address will got changed. Go to logs. So let's wait. So it will assign a new IP address. Let me, still it's same. It will take some time. Now it assigned the IP address to 54.197.1.89, and previously it was 50.193.48. So let application to start. So once application will start, then we will try to ping it again. So generally why we want, this is the dynamic IP address. When you try to redeploy it, when you try to restart the application, okay, so in that case it will change the IP address. It will assign a new IP address to application. So but why we require the static IP address? Okay, so generally let's consider you have some API, you have some system API which has been deployed to the cloud hub. Okay, and those system API has to talk with some application. Those system API has to talk with some system. On that system there is a IP whitelisting. To communicate with that particular system, that IP has to be whitelisted on that for that particular system in their network. So in that case, if you are using the dynamic address or IP address, so like dynamic IP address, in that case what will happen? If you are redeploying it, if you are try to restart the application, the IP address will change, right? So you cannot go again and again configure a new IP address which has been changed on that particular system. So to avoid such kind of thing, you can use the static IP address. In static IP address, what happens? So once you have deployed the application on static IP address, if you try to redeploy it, okay, if you try to restart it, your IP address will not change, it will remain same. Okay, in that case, if you want to whitelist the IP address in that system or in that network, you can definitely do that. Okay, So but there are some scenarios where so basically there are few scenarios where your static IP address can change. So let me maximize this screen. So, so 1 minute, so let me. So basically, deleting an application will also remove its static IP address. If you create a new application with same name, it will have a new dynamically assigned IP address. So let's consider you have deployed the application on some static IP address. Okay, with XYZ name, you have deleted that application. Okay, if you try to deploy again that same application with XYZ name, you will not get that static IP address. You will get a new static IP address. So avoid deleting the application. Adding new application by moving it from product sandbox to production. This requires new application name, hence new static IP address. So basically, when you are moving application from sandbox to production, right? When you are moving to production, so it will require a new static IP address. An application is redeployed to different geographic region. So what does this means? If you try to deploy, let's consider if you have deployed the application in US East 1 and you assign the static IP address. Now you are trying to redeploy that application into US East 2. In that case, your static IP will be changed. And the formal request to MuleSoft to remove the static IP is completed. That's fine. So how many static IP your environment have? So basically it's number of vcores equals to number of static IP address. So basically if in like sandbox, if you have 2 vcores, you will get 2 static IP address. In your production, if you have 4 vcores, you will get 4 static IP address. If you want to get more static IP address, you can contact MuleSoft sales team, so they can provide more static IP address. So let me, my application has been started, so let me ping it. So you can see the previous IP address 54.173.193.48. Now the IP address has been changed. So let's consider, I already mentioned, like if this particular application has to be communicate with system, where that like MuleSoft application IP needs to be whitelisted. In this case, dynamic IP address will not work. So because you have whitelisted this particular IP, let's consider. Now you have redeployed. Now it IP address has been changed, right? So in that case, this particular, the second IP address is not whitelisted on that particular network, so it will not allow to accept the request, right? So to avoid such kind of thing, you can use the static IP address. So it's very simple how we can use the static IP address. So basically you can go to this particular application, manage application. Okay, you can go to static IPs. Here you can say use under settings, you can go to static IP. Here you can say use static IP. Okay, and I will say allocate static IP. Okay, it's allocate 107, and I can say apply change. Okay, so it will redeploy the application. So let me go to logs. So let's wait while it's redeploying the application. So I'm waiting for my application to get redeployed. So there is a good documentation provided by MuleSoft on static IP address. So you can say static IP address MuleSoft. So this is very important. So basically, if you want to do any IP whitelisting, so you can use the static IP address, or even you have an option where you can even use the VPC also. Basically, if because in VPC you assign a block of IP address, right? So even like if you are not allocating the static IP address, In case of VPC, it will deploy the application within the VPC. Even you restarting the application, it will pick one of the IP address from that particular block, so you can whitelist that block on that particular network or that system. So yeah, so that is what you can do it. So let me wait. So you can go through this particular documentation. Lot of things are given on this. IP ranges, static IP address. So CloudHub IP address are chosen from Amazon EC2 IP pool. So let me check. The application has been deployed. So let me check what IP address. So still it's refreshing. So let's wait. Even the application now it's allocated applying static IP address. So now it's applying the static IP address. So let me check whether it's applied. Still it's applying. Let's wait while it's applying the static IP address. So you can see now the IP address is 107.22.175.190. So that is the static IP address which we got it from MuleSoft. So you can check it here, manage application. Okay, and what is static IP address? It's 107.22.175.190. Let me restart this application. Let's see what happens. So now it's trying to restart the application. In this case, the IP address should not change. It should remain same because we have allocated the static IP address. So let's wait while it's redeploying or restarting the application. So let me copy this. I want to show you one more demo after this. Let me check what is the response. Yeah, it's stopped now. No? So the application is deploying. So I'm waiting for application to get deployed. Okay, now it's trying to start the application. So till that, you can go through this particular documentation. This is the good networking guide provided by MuleSoft. I will show you more thing. Yeah, so now it's applying the static IP address. So let me so you can see now application started. The IP address is 107.22. Previously it was 10.22.175.190. Even we restart the application, it haven't got changed. Even if we do the redeploy, it will not change because you have applied the static IP address. Now what I will do, I will delete this application and I will deploy it again with same name and same jar file. No, so let me delete it. I will delete this application. Okay, now what I will do, I will deploy the same jar file which I have already created. Choose jar, it's 8081, and let me copy the name. Okay, so you have choose jar. Now you go to static IP. He will not get that IP address. Now if you try to assign a new static IP address, so you can say deploy application. So it will assign a new static IP address to this particular, this particular application. So our URL is not changed, it will remain same. We have deployed the application in same region, same thing, we have done same. So let's wait while it's redeploying the application. If you try to ping it, we will not get the response. Okay, now it's redeploying it. Go to logs. So you can see it's redeploying at this particular thing. Manage. Okay, even like you can allocate the static IP address. Okay, so now the IP address allocated is 54 dot something, like 54.221.225.5451, and previously it was 107. So generally if you delete and redeploy the same application again with same name, you will not get the same static IP address. So go to logs, let's see what is happening. So still it's deploying the application. Go to manage application. Go to logs, let's see what happens. So try to ping this time. Still application is starting. Now it will try to apply the static IP address. So applying the static IP address. So let me ping this application again. Application is started. So let me check. It's applying. Still it's applying the static IP address. Let me go back there and let me check. Ping mule worker VPC Azure 8081. Everything is perfect. This is fine. Manage application. Static IP. It's in use. So let me check. See, now I start getting the response. So it's 54.221. Previously static IP address assigned to same application is 107. So as I mentioned, one of the thing is like deleting the application will also remove the static IP address. If you are creating the same application with same name, it will assign new dynamically IP address. The same thing, like if you are moving application from one environment to another environment, you will have a different static IP address, and application is redeployed to different geographic region, then your static IP address will change. So basically, if you are changing this, if your runtime and you're changing this particular region, okay, in this case your it will assign a new static IP address. Okay, so these are the things you need to be take care. So this is whole about static IP address. You can like make sure like your number of vCores equals to number of static IP. Generally in your license you will get like if you have a 2 vCores for that particular environment, for sandbox you will get 2 static IP address. If you have a 4 vCores, you will get a 4 static IP addresses. So generally, like if you want to whitelist some range of IP address, so I will suggest you go with the VPC solution. So create the VPC, deploy all the application within the VPC, which has to communicate it with the application, with the systems which are having like policy like IP whitelisted. So if there are multiple application has to communicate with that, so in that case you create the VPC and just whitelist that particular CIDR block, So I hope you like this video. If you like this video, please click like on subscribe button. Thanks for watching.